top side of block 2 line. Has to be 0, of course. So, yeah. So now you can switch between chart and table. You can switch from detail to summary, and you can have more than 2 values all the time. So that was one of the things I used to recreate that dashboard. And then the break.
I could do that with a button on the report as well. I wouldn't necessarily have to use it for controls.
I haven't done with button, but yes, technically you should be able to do that with,
Sorry, did you say that again?
with a button control on the report.
As opposed to using input
Yeah, that
controls.
would be very interesting.
And you can always overlay that with an image and make it more
Because then you
dashboard.
can make it appear like you're clicking on,
Yes,
just like you would in Excelsius or.
right, exactly. So for break, it might be a little bit, I don't know, from the back it might be difficult to see, so let me, this one. So on the left block here, I have the raw data for state, product group, and product name. And the way I need to see this data is for more detail level, but not more detail level, more summary level data along with it. So instead of starting from the state, I need to see the value for all, the entire sum. So all I did was, okay, let me go to the analysis tab. So for each level, for each dimension, I needed to show the all value, the sum of all products, sum of all product groups, sum of all states at each level. So the very last dimension in the hierarchy, that doesn't need a break. I need a break for the state, as you can see, and the product group. And if I go to the manage break to give you the show you the property, is I have 2 separate breaks here on 2 different dimensions. And what I did, I applied the break on the first dimension, and initially I started moving on the footer and the header, actually, sorry, not the footer, just the header, and let the footer be there, and use that footer to add my aggregation. And on the state column, as you can see, I'm actually, because this is my very first level of break, I'm just repeating the state name here. And over here, it's the product group. And this is a sum of all the product names for internal for Alabama. So this one I have to give either all, I can hard code it to anything. All products, all product names, but if you put product names here, it's going to give you multi-value because it has more than one there. And I did the same thing for all the levels here. You can see this is where the product group is. So when I have all the product names done, for this is where I show the sum of all product groups. So you can keep doing that for how many levels of dimensions you have. Now in 4.2 SP5, what you can do here is you can do almost the same thing fairly simple way. So they have come up with a new feature called same level break. So as you can see, instead of list of 2 dimensions here, you have customers state and product at the same level. So the way you do this, so when you click edit in the manage grid now, you get a separate screen where you can check more than one dimension. So when you specify those two or three dimensions, what you're telling Webby to do is, I want to see the sum of these two at the same level. So without having to do all the work of deleting the header, typing out the actual state name, it's automatically doing that for me. The only thing I now have to do is just delete this empty row. And I'll have the same result here. Right? So then way and now way. So that's the primary tips, and there are some little more, few more tips. I don't have a demo for those, but just keep in mind. The first one seems very obvious, but oftentimes while starting a sample report and we go on from a sample report and we build on top of that, and we forget to add the filter at the query level. So always try to use a query as your main gateway where you filter out that anything that you don't need absolutely in your document, instead of getting a lot of data and then use filter or, report or block level filter. The second one initially may sound like the opposite tip of the first one, but this is applicable when, if you have multiple data providers that brings the exact same set of data, say for different time periods, one for year to date, one for quarter to date, one for month to date. What you're doing is you're getting the same number of columns, but the month to date and the quarter to date, they're very much subset of the year to date data. So I came across a report once where the performance was really bad, and I saw this is how the queries were set up, that you have this exact same objects coming out for year to date, month to date, and quarter to date. So what I did, I deleted the quarter to date and the month to date data, and I brought only the year to date data, used variables to filter that for quarter to date and month to date. So that right away brought down the load on the data. And merging, as per SAP support, merging has its overhead. So use cautiously. When you absolutely need to merge dimensions, merge them. And it's better to always check that automatically merge in your document so that you can control what exactly you can merge, and then merge whenever necessary. Again, as per from one of my experience with and I contacted the support, SAP support, and I was told use if then else if you can instead of where. So that calculation engine performs better. Use and reuse variable, again obvious that if you have long formulas that you're using multiple times across your documents, create a variable and use that variable if you need to use that same logic inside another variable. And name your variable consistently. In previous versions, especially in 3.1, often we needed to, we knew the best practice was to call a variable var underscore something or v underscore something, but often we couldn't do that because if you use that in a chart, it shows up the chart as var underscore revenue. Doesn't look nice. However, now you can actually customize your access title in 4.2. So it's very easy to name your variables properly and then just change the title to whatever you want. In 4.2, you can do very detailed level of formatting, so it's better to use those. And for heavy documents, use the data structure mode when you're making a lot of changes. That way you're not reloading the data every time you're making a change. And switch it to data mode only when you have finished all your changes. It loads the data only once. And it helps with the performance. Yeah, that's all. Any question?